Dear Psykill, when was the first time blades came to your attention? Any concrete plans to get him on our side? That was quite the tale. It all started at the Guardian Academy, where the instructor, Major Mo, was doing his best to whip 4 new Guardians into shape. Raizor, Tailpipe, Super Couper, and Bent Wing were quite a handful. If they were renegades, I'd probably have thrown up my hands and had them melted down for scrap. Tailpipe was quite the runt, always trying to prove his worth in the face of the superior speed and firepower of his teammates. Raizor was something of a jock, thinking with his blasters instead of his brains. Bent Wing was quite the impetuous lass, constantly vying with Raizor for primacy within the team. And Super Couper joked about everything. This especially tormented the sensitive and serious Tailpipe. Major Mo did his best to keep them in line, but it was a losing proposition. He would constantly throw up his arms in despair, calling his squad the Robo Rebels. A trio of my renegades encountered them during what was supposed to be a simple training exercise for them. They were attempting to rescue a ship in distress, though of course Matt, Nick, and AJ could bring their derelict colony ship under control at any time with the push of a button. The Robo Rebels were doing their customary slipshod job of it. Bent Wing and Raizor getting in each other's way, Super Couper slacking off, and Tailpipe worrying that he'd only get in the way. That was when Gunner, Bad Boy, and Stretch showed up. My experienced men made short work of the neophytes, and were about to rip open the ship and get some valuable hostages, when Leader 1, Turbo, and Scooter came to their rescue and drove off my men. Gunner valiantly attempted to stand up to Leader 1, but his MiG-21 fishman configuration was no match for Leader 1's F-15 Eagle mode. Naturally, the Robo Rebel star fell even further. Why, the Guardian Council was even forced to consider the possibility that the new recruits had actively collaborated with the Renegades. After all, it had happened before. The newest member of the Guardian Council, Blades, was particularly insistent on that point. Major Mo confined the Robo Rebels to their quarters, but Bent Wing insisted that they sneak out and go to the council chambers to try and find evidence of how the Renegades knew where the training exercise would be held. Raizor wouldn't let her go without him, and Super Couper decided it'd be fun to tag along. Tailpipe reluctantly accompanied his team, not wanting to be left alone to explain. They dodged the Ridge Runner units guarding the council building, and slipped into the computer annex unobserved. Tailpipe was given the task of going through computer records to see who knew where the exercise would be held. It looked as if, besides Major Mo, only Counselor Blades had access to information about the training record. They found this suspicious, but at that moment heard a blast. They rushed into the council chambers and found Zeman lying there, a smoking hole in his chest. As they stood over his body, Guardian Security Director Hans Cuff and a pair of his men rushed in and ordered them arrested.